What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. The Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury saga continues. Eddie Hearn, who is the promoter of Anthony Joshua, CEO of Matchroom Boxing, who is spearheading the negotiations with the Saudis, has claimed that the Saudis got a $150 million site deal on the table, with $75 million for Anthony Joshua and $75 million for Tyson Fury, and everybody else is just gonna have to do it for the fun, for the love of boxing, I guess, because ain't nobody outside of those two is gonna make money if they getting 100% of the site fee. Now you've got the gate, and you've got sponsorships, and you've got the pay-per-view outlets. So that's where all the promoters and managers and trainers and people that's putting on this show, the Saudis, that's where they're gonna make their money, because the site fee is all going to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. If you let Eddie Hearn tell it, if you let him, well, he ain't actually say it, but he leaked it to ESPN Knockout, and they took the story and ran with it and put it on their website, and everybody was like, "Oh man, they finna make a lot of money, man. This is the most AJ ever made." Missed me with that $50 million he turned down when Deontay Wilder sent him a contract to fight a couple of years ago. He's gonna make $25 million more than that. AJ is the winner in the long run. But the problem is, Eddie Hearn, I see the handwriting on the wall. Eddie Hearn is setting the stage to blame Bob Arum and Frank Warren. He's setting the stage to blame the Bob father and Fish Eyes. That's what he's doing. Because Bob Arum recently came out and said, look, that Saudi deal that Eddie Hearn been talking about is nothing but a mirage. I ain't heard from him in 2 weeks. He's gone radio silent. Frank Warren said, I ain't heard nothing from him either. I'm waiting on a binding agreement. He sent a draft of a contract to me. I had a couple of details in the contract I wanted to address, and I sent it back the amended contract and ain't heard from him since. Now, that's kind of funny, because Eddie Hearn ain't hard to find, especially he's doing all these interviews, so he might not be returning calls for Bob Arum and Frank Warren, but he damn sure doing interviews. He damn sure is in front of that camera, talking and putting on a mirage, as Bob Arum says, and saying the fight is close, and we're just on the 1 yard line about to get ready to score this touchdown, and it's just a matter of when, not if, according to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is saying, look, Bob Arum and Frank Warren are sitting there relaxing on me. They were looking for me to do all the work. They're using me as a crutch. They don't want to do anything as far as on their end to try to look for potential investors in the Middle East to put on this fight. They're leaving everything up to me. And he says it's a good thing they're leaving it up to me, according to Eddie, because I'm the one that can get this job done. I'm the one that can make the biggest fight in boxing history. But he says there ain't no problem on my end. We agreed to everything on our side, and they agreed to everything on their side. Now, if they are looking to run and hide and don't make the fight and saying that it's difficult and they don't want to wait, that's on them. But they just need to sit back and be patient, because the fight is going to definitely get done. The fight is definitely taking place. So he's making it look like he's doing everything in his power to make the fight take place. He's being positive about the fight while they're being negative about the fight. And he's doing everything in his power to get it done, and they ain't doing nothing but sitting on their hands. That's basically what Eddie Hearn is saying. So if the fight don't get done, everybody gonna say, oh man, Bob Arum and Frank Warren, they wanted Eddie Hearn to do everything. They wanted Eddie Hearn to make lemonade out of lemons. You know what I'm saying? They wanted him to pull a rabbit out the hat while they sit back and watch him perform and watch him do what they feel is a very remote possibility of happening, especially with this pandemic going on. You know, these Saudis are not going to put up $150 million if they can't have live crowds, everybody. That should have been something that everybody should have seen really from the get-go in this situation. The only way this fight was going to take place, both fighters was going to have to take a huge decrease in pay than what they would have made maybe later on in 2021 when the pandemic is more under control and you're able to have large gatherings for sporting events. You know, you could have made some money then. That $150 million could have been legitimate later on in 2021. But as far as right now, when this pandemic is still raging, look at what's going on in India. Look what's going on here in the United States. Look what's going on in the UK. Look what's going on in Brazil. Look what's going on all across this world. The pandemic is not under control. In some places, it's raging, it's spreading, and it's increasing in a lot of different places. So until we get this thing under control and the vaccine is out, but you got a couple of vaccines that are said to be giving people a lot of issues. Number one is Johnson & Johnson, which is said to kill, I think it was like 14 people here in the United States. So they pulled that vaccine off the shelf. They pulled that back. So there's a lot of different things going on, a lot of things that got to get sorted out as far as this vaccine is concerned. And until that's done, it's going to be hard. If you ain't talking about doing something outside of Texas or outside of Florida, it's going to be hard to get a big fight done in other places with this pandemic going on. And that's just the bottom line, everybody. But look what Eddie Hearn is fitting to do. He's setting the stage to blame Bob Arum and Frank Warren for this not happening. Because he's all about positivity. He's all about saying the fight is going to happen. The fight is going to get done. This is going to be the fight to make next. While Bob Arum is over there saying that it's a mirage and he finna get ready to move on and fight Deontay Wilder. Now, Eddie Hearn also said, well, why would you want to fight Wilder? That's a nothing fight. What is you talking about? That's a nothing fight. There's 3 top dogs in the heavyweight division. Miss me with the Dillian White and even the Andy Ruiz. Hopefully he do good this Saturday. But he got one big win on his resume. That was against Anthony Joshua. Who else he beat? He lost to Joseph Parker, the nicest guy in boxing. A lot of people said, oh, Andy Ruiz won that fight. It was a close fight. But I thought Joseph Parker edged it out. And plus, it was in New Zealand. So Andy Ruiz knew what he was getting himself into. He knew he needed to dominate that fight in at least 8 rounds to 4 for him to have any chance of getting a decision in Joseph Parker's hometown. He knew what he was getting himself into. It was a close fight, and he lost a split decision. So it is what it is. You know, you got Otto Wallin, who's probably the best combination puncher in the heavyweight division, but he has no power. But the top 3 in the heavyweight division is Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. There's only one Tyson Fury. He's number 1. And then number 2 is Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, to this day. And then number 3 is Anthony Joshua. He was guy that got 3 of the 4 major belts. You know, he lost to the Michelin Man, Andy Ruiz. So when you look at both guys' losses, him and Deontay Wilder, Wilder lost to the number 1 guy in the heavyweight division. Anthony Joshua lost to the Michelin Man, a guy that probably wasn't even in the top 10 before he shocked the world and knocked out Anthony Joshua. But Eddie Hearn is setting the stage, everybody. He's setting the stage to blame Bob Arum and Frank Warren, just like he set the stage to blame Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder when Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fight fell through a few years back. He's doing the same thing. He's going to that old familiar playbook that he did with the Deontay Wilder, Shelly Finkel situation. But what Eddie Hearn got to be careful of is he going to get to the point where ain't nobody going to want to work with him. You done burnt your bridges with Shelly Finkel, Al Heyman, Deontay Wilder. You burned that bridge. Now you finna burn the bridge with Bob Arum, and you never had a bridge with Frank Warren. He was just working with you trying to make the fight happen. Y'all already was at odds waiting for this AJ Fury negotiations first started. Y'all both are mortal enemies, basically. So that ain't no bridge that was made to be burned. But you're going to burn that bridge you got with Bob Arum. And then everybody know you and Oscar De La Hoya don't see eye to eye. And y'all up under the same umbrella, the zone. He just said some things about you that's not flattering. So you're going to have a hard time outside of a purse bid and a fight going to a purse bid, and then you're working with another promoter when the fight goes to a purse bid, or you win the purse bid with another guy's fighter. That's going to be the closest you're going to come to working with the 3 major entities in the sport of boxing, that being Top Rank, Golden Boy, and the PBC. And then on the smaller level, but still a significant level, Queensberry Promotions. You're going to have a hard time working with each other. You're going to be on the island by yourself if you're not careful. So you need to get this fight done. You know, I hope you get the fight done. For your sake, really. Because it's going to be hard for anybody to ever work with you on a big fight. Because they're going to say, look, man, Eddie Hearn is going to promise the sun, the moon, and the stars. And in actuality, he ain't going to get nothing done when it's all said and done. And then he's going to try to paint me as the bad guy, make me wear the black hat. You know what I'm saying? Try to make me look like I didn't want to fight. Make my fighter look like he ducking. And I ain't trying to have that. So we're going to see what happens, and we damn sure going to see what transpires. But Eddie Hearn is looking to set the stage and blame Bob Arum, a.k.a. the Bob Father, and Frank Warren, a.k.a. Fish Eyes. That's what he's looking to do. And then once this thing is all settled at the end of this week and the fight's not done, not signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours, they're going to move on, and Anthony Joshua's going to fight Usyk in take care of his obligation as the WBO mandatory #1 contender. Take care of that. And then Tyson Fury, who's right now is in negotiations, in mediations with Deontay Wilder and Shelly Finkel. And instead of paying him step-aside money, you know, he can afford to pay it if he think he's going to get a $75 million site fee deal to fight Anthony Joshua. He'll pay Deontay Wilder step-aside money. But he's not going to be willing to do that if he's taking another stay-busy fight. That'll be his whole purse, if the money he had to pay Deontay Wilder. So why not just go ahead and fight Deontay Wilder once the AJ fight falls through? And that's what it's trending toward right now. But we'll see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Hit the comments and let me know, man. Hit the comments and let me know what your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. What you think about Eddie Hearn setting the stage to blame Bob Arum and Frank Warren? This ain't his first rodeo. I'm here to tell you, he did the same thing to Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder. Let me know your thoughts about Eddie Hearn, a.k.a. Eddie the Con Artist, doing Eddie Hearn type of things and possibly alienating all the top entities in the sport of boxing. We'll see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Hit the like button if you like the content of this video, and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I'll holla.